These poor kittens were rescued from a roof in the rain, but one of them grew up to live like a king. When two kittens were left clinging to a roof in the pouring rain, it may have seemed as if luck was not on their side. However, thanks to the efforts of their rescuer, one of the cats in particular was given a new lease on life. Now, in fact, the once abandoned animal is practically the king of the household. Back in 2016, though, Reddit user Demayan was minding his own business at home when he became aware of something that, given the circumstances, was a little unusual. He heard the sound of mewing, in fact, through the pitter-patter of the rain, and understandably, he therefore decided to examine where the noise was coming from. Then, as Demayan followed the cries, his search took him outside into the downpour. Upon further investigation, moreover, he discovered that the sounds were actually coming from the house's roof. And after he discovered their source, he found that he could hardly comprehend what he was seeing. There, in a rain drain, were two tiny kittens hanging on for dear life. What's more, upon closer inspection of the animals, it was revealed that they were newborns. They were even still joined to their placenta. Given how small and young they were then, there was no guarantee that the felines would survive their predicament on their own. Furthermore, it's not known how the kittens had gotten onto the roof in the first place. There are potential explanations for the situation, though. The pair's mom may have accidentally dropped them while transporting her litter to a safe place, for instance. Alternatively, the mother cat may have believed that the kittens were simply too weak to survive and so just dumped them as a consequence. Evidently, though, the kitten's mom hadn't returned to retrieve her little ones. It didn't seem as if she was in the vicinity either, at least according to Demayan. There was no sign of their mother, he would tell website Love Meow in 2017. And having cared for cats in the past, Demayan knew that kittens wouldn't survive if left to their own devices. The infants would normally rely on their mom for warmth, for example, something they now couldn't do if she wasn't around. So as a result, he selflessly decided to take the animals in himself. First, Demayan grabbed the kittens and brought them inside. There he used a towel to get them dry, warm them up, and wipe their little eyes. And after he'd taken care of the basics, he then began to give the babies the constant nursing care they sorely needed. Despite Demayan's efforts, though, one of the kittens sadly died from pneumonia just 3 days after it had been found. Naturally, that may have come as a blow to the rescuer. Fortunately, however, there was still one little animal that may yet make it. And eventually, Demayan's dedication paid off, as the remaining kitten soon opened his eyes and began to thrive. A positive development that probably came as a huge relief to the Redditor. He even decided to keep the kitten. The little feline was also given the name of Maui. Then, as the weeks passed, it became evident that Maui and Demayan shared a very special bond. The kitten would follow his owner everywhere, in fact, and seemingly enjoyed surveying his exciting new environment with his human savior. In time, in fact, little Maui began to rule the roost. At the very least, he wasn't backwards about coming forwards when food was part of the equation. Indeed, when the kitten decided that he needed a bite to eat, he would noisily demand tasty tidbits from those nearby. Furthermore, Maui would eventually transform from a diminutive ball of fluff into a majestic-looking seal-point Siamese, and while some of his fur would remain a snow-white color, his feet, face, ears, and tail would eventually take on a smokier hue. Demayan himself, meanwhile, seemingly couldn't resist snapping plenty of adorable photos of Maui settling into his new life with his humans and his fellow feline friends. And by the look of things, the kitten was living a life of luxury. One image, for instance, depicts the cat stretched out as he enjoys the comfort of a big bed. Another shows the fur baby fast asleep, looking as cute as a button. These super sweet pictures and more were all uploaded to the internet when Demayan decided to share Maui's story with Reddit. As an accompaniment to the photographs, the Redditor also wrote, "This is Maui. I found him with his placenta still attached on my home's roof. His brother or sister passed from pneumonia at 3 days old. At first we thought he was female and named him Luna. After a few weeks we realized that he was male, and now he's Maui." And the Animal Lovers collection of snaps proved popular on the site. They've garnered more than 1,000 views to date, in fact. Furthermore, some members of the Reddit community couldn't resist leaving a comment for Maui and his owner. Several gushed about Maui's undeniably good looks, for example. "What a beautiful cat. Thanks for helping him live," wrote one. "What kind of cat is Maui? He's gorgeous," another inquired. Another, however, chose to congratulate Demayan on his dedication to the cat. "That's a really nice album," they wrote. "I'm sorry his sibling didn't make it. Maui's a lucky little man to have found someone to give him a chance to grow up and live a happy life. Good job, OP. And Maui is indeed fortunate to have encountered Demayan. After all, if the kitten hadn't been removed from the roof drain in time, he may not still be alive today. Happily though, the lucky feline now apparently has a life that would be the envy of any cat, not to mention a degree of internet fame too.